Every one of us carries invisible cracks, small wounds that life has etched deep within our hearts and minds. These cracks may come from failure, rejection, heartbreak, or self-doubt. They are the quiet reminders of moments when we felt broken. But here's the truth. Being cracked does not mean being ruined. It means you have lived, learned, and endured. What matters most is not how deep the cracks are, but how you choose to repair them. Acknowledging your cracks means recognizing the parts of yourself that are wounded, hurt, or fragile. It's about accepting that you are human, flawed, emotional, and sometimes broken, but still worthy of love and healing. Many people spend years pretending they are fine, hiding their pain behind smiles and strength, thinking vulnerability is weakness. But the truth is, denying your cracks only deepens them. The first and most powerful act of healing is to pause, breathe, and admit that something inside you needs attention. This simple acknowledgement can open the door to transformation, because awareness brings light to the places where darkness has settled. When you acknowledge your cracks, you are not admitting defeat. You are showing incredible courage. It takes strength to face what hurts you instead of running from it. Whether it's past trauma, failure, loss, or insecurity, every crack has a reason for being there. By confronting your pain honestly, you begin to understand what shaped you and how it continues to influence your present. This understanding allows you to stop blaming yourself and start working towards self-compassion. Acknowledgement turns confusion into clarity and suffering into opportunity. It helps you separate who you are from what you've been through. The process of acknowledgement also involves silence and reflection. In the rush of everyday life, we often drown out our emotions with noise, work, distractions, or other people's expectations. But when you slow down and truly listen to your inner voice, you start to see the patterns behind your emotions. You begin to notice what triggers your pain and what gives you peace. This awareness gives you control. It helps you identify what needs to change and what deserves to stay. By being honest with yourself, you allow your soul to breathe again. You give permission for the real you to come forward, no longer trapped under layers of denial or fear. Ultimately, acknowledging your cracks is an act of self-respect. It shows that you care enough about your well-being to stop pretending. It means you are ready to take responsibility for your healing instead of waiting for someone else to fix you. This honesty becomes your foundation for rebuilding. A foundation stronger than before because it's built on truth. Every crack you face becomes a source of wisdom and strength. By looking inward and embracing your pain, you begin to see that these cracks are not the end of you. They are the places where light first begins to enter. Embracing imperfection means accepting that you are a work in progress, and that flaws are not signs of failure, but proof of humanity. Society often pressures us to appear perfect, to have flawless looks, perfect relationships, successful careers, and unshakable confidence. This illusion of perfection forces many people to hide their real selves behind masks of strength. Yet the more we chase perfection, the further we drift from peace. Real strength begins when you stop pretending and start embracing the messy, imperfect parts of yourself. When you accept your flaws, you also accept your uniqueness. And that is what makes you truly beautiful. Perfection is a myth that steals joy. It convinces us that we are never enough, that there is always something more we should be, or something less we should feel. But life is not about reaching a flawless state. It's about learning, evolving, and becoming. When you embrace imperfection, you start to see your mistakes not as something to be ashamed of, but as experiences that help shape who you are. Every wrong turn, every failure, and every scar carries wisdom. Each imperfection tells a story of survival and resilience. When you allow yourself to be imperfect, you give yourself permission to grow without fear of judgment. Accepting imperfection also opens the door to genuine self-love. Instead of constantly criticizing yourself for not being good enough, you begin to nurture yourself with understanding. You learn to treat yourself the way you would treat someone you care about, with kindness patience, and forgiveness. You stop comparing your journey to others and start celebrating your progress no matter how small. The act of embracing imperfection frees you from the endless cycle of self-doubt and comparison. It teaches you that authenticity is far more valuable than perfection because it is real, raw, and deeply human. When you embrace imperfection, you also become more compassionate toward others. You start to see that everyone carries their own cracks and struggles, even if they hide them well. Instead of judging others, you learn to connect with them on a deeper level through empathy and shared vulnerability. This creates stronger, more meaningful relationships because they are built on honesty, not appearance. Embracing imperfection transforms how you view life. It reminds you that beauty lies not in flawlessness, but in the courage to be yourself, despite the flaws. Healing through awareness begins when you allow yourself to truly see what lies beneath your pain. Many people attempt to heal by suppressing their emotions or pretending that they don't exist. But genuine healing cannot occur in darkness. It requires the light of awareness. When you become aware of your emotions, your triggers, and your patterns, you begin to understand why you feel the way you do. Awareness is not about judgment, it's about observation. It allows you to step back and watch your inner world without running away from it. This self-observation becomes the first step toward transformation because you cannot change what you refuse to see. When you practice awareness, you start identifying the root causes of your struggles rather than only dealing with their surface symptoms. Perhaps your anger comes from fear, your sadness from loss, or your self-doubt from old wounds that were never acknowledged. By becoming conscious of these roots, you stop reacting blindly to life and start responding with clarity. Awareness gives you control. It helps you understand that pain does not define you. It teaches you. It turns confusion into understanding and chaos into calm. Through awareness, you learn to take responsibility for your emotions instead of letting them control your actions. Healing through awareness also requires patience. Once you uncover your emotional wounds, it can be uncomfortable to face them. Old memories, regrets, or insecurities may resurface, and your first instinct may be to push them away again. But awareness invites you to sit with your emotions instead of running from them. By doing this, you gradually reduce their power over you. You start to see that emotions are temporary visitors. They come, they teach, and they leave. This mindful approach helps you release pain instead of reliving it. Over time, awareness transforms suffering into understanding and wounds into wisdom. Through awareness, you also begin to live more consciously in every aspect of your life. You notice how your thoughts affect your feelings, how your feelings shape your actions, and how your actions influence your reality. You become more intentional with your words, choices, and relationships. You stop living on autopilot and start living with purpose. This shift in consciousness allows your healing to become deeper and more authentic. Instead of being trapped in cycles of pain, you begin to break them. Awareness brings peace because it replaces confusion with understanding and fear with acceptance. It teaches you that the key to healing has always been within you, hidden in the simple act of paying attention to your own heart. Transforming pain into strength is one of the most powerful forms of healing a person can experience. Pain, no matter how heavy, carries within it the potential for growth and transformation. It teaches lessons that comfort never could. When life breaks you open, it reveals layers of courage and resilience you may not have known existed. Pain pushes you to dig deeper, to discover the strength that lies beneath your struggles. This process is not easy. It demands patience, self-compassion, and the willingness to endure discomfort. But it is through this transformation that you evolve into a stronger, wiser version of yourself. Pain often feels like an enemy, but when you look at it through the lens of purpose, it becomes a teacher. Every disappointment, loss, or heartbreak holds a hidden message, a chance to learn something about yourself or the world. Perhaps your pain teaches you empathy, reminding you what it means to understand others. Maybe it teaches you resilience, showing that you can stand up after every fall. When you stop fighting pain and start listening to it, you begin to understand that it is not here to destroy you, but to shape you. Pain refines your character and deepens your capacity for compassion. It molds you into someone who not only survives, but thrives. Transforming pain into strength also means turning your experiences into motivation. Instead of letting your hardships define you, you use them as fuel to move forward. The strength you gain from pain becomes the foundation for new beginnings. It inspires you to pursue your goals with renewed determination and courage. Pain strips away what is unnecessary, leaving behind the raw truth of who you are and what truly matters. When you rise after being broken, you realize that nothing outside of you can truly defeat you anymore. You become unshakable, not because life stopped being hard, but because you learned to turn your wounds into wisdom. The Japanese art of kintsugi beautifully symbolizes this transformation. Broken pottery repaired with gold, becoming more beautiful for having been broken. Likewise, when you fill your emotional cracks with lessons learned from pain, you emerge more radiant and whole. The gold that fills your wounds is your resilience, your courage, and your wisdom. You no longer see your scars as something to hide, but as symbols of victory. Each scar tells a story of pain that was faced and conquered. Through this transformation, pain loses its power to harm and instead becomes the very force that empowers you to rise higher than before. Surrounding yourself with positivity is one of the most essential steps in healing and personal growth. The environment you choose, the people you engage with, and the thoughts you entertain all shape the energy you carry within. When you are surrounded by negativity, it seeps into your mind, making your heart heavy and your spirit tired. But when you intentionally build a positive environment, it nourishes your well-being and strengthens your resilience. Positivity is not about ignoring pain or pretending that everything is perfect. It's about choosing light even when you're standing in darkness. It's the decision to protect your peace and create a space where you can heal, thrive, and rediscover joy. The people you allow into your life have a deep influence on your emotional health. Some lift you higher, while others drain your energy and self-worth. Surrounding yourself with positive people means choosing those who believe in your potential, who celebrate your growth, and who remind you of your strength when you forget it yourself. These are the individuals who encourage your healing and guide you back to hope when you begin to lose faith. Their energy becomes a mirror that reflects your best qualities instead of magnifying your flaws. Positive relationships provide emotional safety, a place where you can be yourself without fear of judgment, where your cracks are seen not as weaknesses, but as signs of your journey. Positivity also extends beyond people. It includes what you feed your mind and soul every day. The books you read, the music you listen to, the thoughts you repeat to yourself all shape your internal world. When you choose to focus on gratitude, self-love, and growth, you shift your energy toward healing. It's about consciously replacing self-criticism with encouragement, worry with faith, and regret with acceptance. Even small changes, like spending time in nature, meditating, or journaling, can restore your inner balance. Positive habits act like gentle medicine, gradually cleansing your heart from the weight of negativity and allowing you to breathe freely again. Now, creating a positive environment also means setting healthy boundaries. Protecting your peace is not selfish, it is an act of self-respect. Learn to say no to things and people that disturb your emotional stability. Choose conversations that uplift, not those that drain your spirit. The more you surround yourself with positive energy, the more you begin to attract it naturally. Positivity becomes a cycle. What you give, you receive. What you nurture within you grows around you. Over time, your surroundings begin to reflect your inner transformation, and your life becomes a space where healing and happiness can truly coexist. Making healing a daily practice means understanding that recovery and growth are not one-time events, but continuous journeys. Healing is not a straight path. It's filled with ups and downs, progress and setbacks. Each day brings a new opportunity to nurture yourself, to release what hurts, and to build what strengthens you. It's about showing up for yourself every single day, even when it feels hard, even when the progress seems invisible. Healing is an act of patience. It's the quiet decision to keep moving forward, to keep believing that each small effort contributes to your transformation. Like tending to a garden, you must water your spirit daily if you want it to flourish. Consistency is the foundation of daily healing. Small habits, repeated over time, can create powerful change. It could be as simple as taking a few minutes to breathe deeply, writing down your thoughts, or reflecting on what you're grateful for. These practices might seem minor, but they have a profound impact on your emotional balance. When you make space for healing each day, you train your mind to respond with calm instead of chaos, with hope instead of despair. Daily rituals of self-care, such as journaling, meditating, exercising, or simply resting, help remind you that you are in control of your well-being. They strengthen your inner peace and build emotional resilience one step at a time. Making healing a daily practice also means being gentle with yourself. There will be days when you feel strong and focused, and others when the old pain resurfaces, testing your resolve. Instead of criticizing yourself for not being healed enough, allow yourself to feel what you need to feel. Healing is not about perfection, it's about progress. Forgive yourself for the days when you falter and celebrate the days when you rise. This mindset teaches you self-compassion, which is one of the most powerful tools in the healing process. When you learn to treat yourself with the same kindness you offer to others, your heart begins to trust itself again, and true healing unfolds naturally. Daily healing also requires awareness of your energy and boundaries. You must learn to recognize what drains you and what restores you. This could mean distancing yourself from negativity, taking breaks when overwhelmed, or speaking kindly to yourself in moments of doubt. Healing becomes a lifestyle, not a temporary phase. It's a commitment to constantly evolve, to keep growing beyond your pain, and to protect your peace no matter what. Over time, this daily devotion to healing becomes your strength. It builds emotional endurance, clarity, and inner harmony. It reminds you that healing is not something you wait for, it is something you create, moment by moment, every single day. Seeing beauty in your scars means recognizing that every mark, whether physical or emotional, is a testimony of your survival. Scars tell stories of what you've been through and how far you've come. They are reminders that even though life wounded you, it could not defeat you. Instead of viewing your scars as flaws to hide, they should be seen as symbols of courage, evidence that you faced pain and chose to heal. Every scar has a past, but more importantly, it carries a lesson. It speaks of a time when you fell, fought, and rose again. To see beauty in your scars is to honor the battles that shaped you into who you are today. Scars teach you that healing does not mean forgetting. You can carry the memory of pain without being controlled by it. They remind you that strength is not the absence of struggle, but the ability to rise despite it. When you look at your scars, you see proof that even in your weakest moments, you had the will to survive. This understanding transforms your relationship with your past. It turns regret into gratitude and fear into appreciation. The scars reveal that pain was not meant to break you, but to awaken something powerful within you: wisdom, empathy, and resilience. What once hurt you becomes the foundation on which you build your strength. Finding beauty in scars also changes how you view others. When you recognize your own scars as symbols of growth, you begin to see the same beauty in the imperfections of those around you. You realize that everyone carries hidden wounds, and that kindness and compassion are far more powerful than judgment. This awareness deepens your empathy and helps you connect with others on a human level. You stop seeing pain as something shameful and start seeing it as a universal experience that unites people. Through this shift in perception, scars stop being something to hide. They become something to share, something that builds bridges of understanding and healing between souls. When you learn to see beauty in your scars, you also reclaim your narrative. Instead of letting your wounds define you as broken, you redefine them as the proof of your strength. The places where you once felt weak become your greatest sources of inspiration. Each scar becomes a chapter in your story, a chapter that shows not where you were hurt, but where you healed. This perspective empowers you to walk forward with confidence, knowing that your imperfections are not signs of failure, but badges of triumph. The beauty of scars lies in their truth. They remind you that healing does not erase pain, but transforms it into light that continues to shine through you. In the end, repairing the cracks within you is not about becoming perfect or erasing your past. It's about embracing every part of your journey with love and acceptance. Each wound, each scar, and each tear has shaped you into someone wiser, stronger, and more compassionate. Healing is not a single act, but a lifelong commitment to yourself, a promise to keep growing, learning, and forgiving. When you choose to face your cracks with courage, you transform pain into power and struggle into strength. Remember, the light that shines through your cracks is what makes you beautifully human. Keep mending, keep believing, and never forget that you are not broken, you are becoming whole.